Hey, what's up, it's a Culture Detective here investigating your favorite movies, and today I'm going to be doing a movie roundup video where I talk about the movies, TV shows, and animes I watched in the last couple of weeks or so. Yeah, I've been really busy lately, moving from one place to another and then to another again within the same week, pushing a lot of my movie watches and my movie plans. So that's that. Plus, new semester has begun, so I won't be as free again. But anyways, in the middle of August, I rewatched Uncut Gems. And yeah, it is fantastic. I really appreciate the sound mixing and the music a lot more on a rewatch. I also picked up a lot of story devices that the Safdie brothers wrote in order to make the story more stressful, which I really like because it's going to help me with my scripts. I feel like I understand the plot a lot more this time around, and I really love the ending. So I'm upgrading Uncut Gems from an 8 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10. Then I rewatched Oldboy at the landmark Newark Theater. If you remember correctly, the first time I watched Oldboy, I think it was the year 2021, and I was a little bit let down. Sure, it is a fantastic film and I enjoyed it a lot, but it just wasn't as mind-blowing as I thought it would be. But for some reason, watching Oldboy on a big screen without the internet keeping on buffering and with an audience made it so much better of an experience. On top of that, this is a 4K restored version of Oldboy, and after the screening we have roughly 20 to 30 minutes of an interview between Drive director Nicholas Winding Refn and Park Chan-Wook. But yeah, Act 3 and the ending of Oldboy left a very deep mark on my mind, as it is shocking, disturbing, bittersweet, and thought-provoking at the same time. And I remember very clearly, during the plot twist, my friend sitting to my left audibly gasped, and I laughed at that. It was a really good reaction. The editing is so freaking good, and man, if only I have Park Chan-wook's sense of rhythm and pacing, because his sense of rhythm and pacing is immaculate. So yeah, 9 out of 10. I love it so much more on a rewatch. Of course, having watched so many good films, I need to watch something bad. For that, I watched the new Flash movie, The Flash. And it sucks. The CGI is bad, the humor is corny. It is a fun premise, but it also lacks so much emotional weight compared to CW's The Flash, the TV show. This movie made The Flash feel like a masterpiece, and that's saying a lot. Regardless, I'm happy to see Michael Keaton back in the Batman suit again for one more time. It's really cool. Then I watched The Manchurian Candidate. I realize I've been watching too much quote-unquote foreign cinema, and I really need to watch more old American films, so I watched this one, and it's decent, it's just okay. I love political thrillers, and I really like the concept of the film, but the characters, the antagonist of this film, is cartoonishly evil, and Janet Leigh's character is kind of a filler character. Also, the movie casts every ethnically ambiguous person to play Chinese or a Korean person, which is very lame, and I get it, it's the 1960s. Hollywood was still kind of racist back then, but still, it's very lame. 8 out of 10, light 8. Afterwards, I watched Vinland Saga Season 2. I finally finished watching, and holy shit, I love it. It's been a while since I've been this invested in a story. Thorfinn has become one of my favorite fictional main characters ever, and the story essentially takes the revenge plot device but push it one step further into something so much more psychological and personal, and it really shocked me to the core. This is also somehow one of the most immersive period pieces I've ever seen, not only because it's very historically accurate, but also Yukimura Makoto has a way of retelling timeless stories, but only setting in the Viking era, which made this one of my favorite animes of all time. So yes, originally in the review I gave it a strong 9, but right now it's official. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Then I watched Nobody Knows by Koreeda Hirokazu. And yeah, this is my favorite Koreeda film thus far. This is essentially 2.5 hours of intimate and heartwarming yet extremely sad story about child abandonment. This film has amazing child performances, and the ending left me broken. So yeah, I highly recommend everyone to check it out, and be sad. Prepare some tissues. 9 out of 10. Then I watched Amadeus at the Academy Museum, and not only is the theater very awesome, but also this is one of my favorite biopics ever, if not favorite. This film really takes creative freedom and creates something so funny, so creative, and puts Salieri and Mozart's relationship in perspective, with some amazing performances from both lead actors. 9 out of 10. After this period of time, I pretty much didn't watch a single film for like 5 days straight because I was so busy moving, packing, unpacking, moving again, and it was basically hell. But the next film I watched is a couple days ago with The Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie by Louis Buñuel. This film is a really deadpan, no score, only dry humor type movie, and it's not really the type of movie that I would really love, but I honestly really like it. I just like how absurd it gets. It just gets more and more absurd. It's also really confusing and structureless. It's like a more socio-politically charged Godard, but it's just really impressive that this is Louis Buñuel, the same dude behind Un Chien Andalou, 40 years before the making of this film. And overall, the concept of this movie is really freaking funny. You know, people say eat the rich, but people also don't say the rich can't eat because they can't sit down and have a nice meal in peace because they're just like that. 8 out of 10. Then, a couple days ago, I rewatched Chungking Express at the Aero Theater, and it's probably going to be my last time visiting the Aero Theater until a long, long time later. And it's a really special experience because my ex-crush was there 4 seats away from me, and I kept thinking about her throughout the entire film. And that somehow enhanced my experience and made me love the movie even more, especially the ending of the first half. I think on a second watch, I somehow enjoyed the first half of the film even more than the second half, even though the second half was normally known as the better half, but I somehow like how dreamy the first half is, and I really find myself relating to the character of Kaneshiro Takeshi, who just got over someone, and that someone is literally 4 fucking seats away from me for no fucking reason. So, yeah, 9 out of 10. Really good film. Finally, I watched Raiders of the Lost Ark. I didn't plan to watch this movie at all, but essentially I was taking a course in college, Film 5, which is Film and Society, and the topic of the course is about American cinema in the 1980s, and the professor decided to screen Raiders of the Lost Ark by Steven Spielberg in the first week. And it's awesome. It's a really fun and entertaining movie. I don't think I've ever seen it. Maybe I have, but I was like 3 years old at that point. But yeah, the movie's really well crafted. Act 3 is stellar. I love how dreamy and epic the score is by John Williams. I love the passion for archaeology. It's just as good as modern Hollywood gets. It's just the right shot choices, the right type of editing, the right type of cinematography, the right kind of acting, the right formula, and boom, you just get a really well-made modern Hollywood film in the 80s. So yeah, these are the movies I watched. You know, animes, TV shows. Yeah, what did you watch? Comments below, let me know, subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.